everybody. Welcome to Talking with Natasha. I'm here with Erika Ayers Badan. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Jokes on everyone. You thought you were going to come in for a business conversation. We're really going to talk about our Bernese Mountain Dogs.
I'm down. I'm here for it.
Tell us about your dogs.
Oh, I have two girls.
Let's just get into
it. They're the right out. She's coming in hot with the dog stories. I'm obsessed. They're great. Bernese Mountain Dogs are the best. I'm a Bernese Mountain Dog stan. They're crazy and large, and they shed everywhere, and they love up so much. So they're just characters.
And you've got pictures here. What are their names?
Their names are Tatine and Angelica. So it's kind of like a lady and a whore, which I think every woman has within her. And they're great. They're good girls.
I love it. Matt, are we on TikTok live? I don't know. I don't see the picture. I don't see the picture because we are on YouTube live right now, and we've got some people are chiming in. They're excited for this conversation.
I'm excited for this conversation.
Yeah. The reason why you're on our podcast today is because you've written this great book, Nobody Cares About Your Career. What's in a title?
A lot. I think it's true. When I was deep in my career, my kids were really little. I was working all the time. I would say to myself when I wasn't at work and doing life things, like, nobody cares about your career. And I took great comfort in that. It's one of the chapters in the book, and I was looking for a title of the book, and it kind of popped out that should be the title. And the reason I think it's important is your career should be for you. It should make you happy. It should push you to be a new type of person. It should take you to a new place. It should fuel you and feed you socioeconomically. But if you're doing a career or living a career or making the motions through your career for somebody else, it's never, ever going to satisfy you. It's never going to fulfill you. You're not going to be happy in it. And so that's why I called the book Nobody Cares About Your Career. One is no one's responsible for your success. I think a lot of people go into the workplace now thinking your boss is going to do it for you. Your manager is going to take care of it for you. Your coworker is going to cover for you. Like, you've got to propel yourself through your career. And then two, you should do what you want, and you should do what makes you happy.
Was there a turning point when you realized nobody cares about your career?
I always felt very comforted in that nobody cared about my career. I think people in general are pretty self-absorbed, and you think that everybody's talking about why you didn't get a promotion or how you didn't get that job you were going for. Like, I think people have a perception that everybody's talking about them or everybody's interested. And the reality is that people aren't. And I always said that to myself as I made mistakes in particular. Yeah. And so the turning point for me was, every big jump or mistake I've made in my career has actually opened the door to something else that I couldn't have anticipated. And if I had been so worried about what everyone thought I should be doing, how I should be doing it, what I was doing, I would never have made those jumps, and I would never have tried the things I tried. I would never have gone to Barstool Sports. I wouldn't have made a lot of the moves that I made. And so realizing that nobody really cares, and what you're left with at the end of the day is what you've learned and what you've done, I felt was really important, and I wanted to share that with other people.
Speaking of Barstool Sports, you talk about becoming the first CEO of what was then a blog, a small blog out of Boston and out in the West Village, working on a second headquarters there. When you first told people that you were leaving, you worked at AOL, and you're moving to Barstool Sports, what did people say?
Oh, people were like, you're a loser. They were like, you're committing career suicide. Like, why would you do that? And I actually was really obsessed with getting the Barstool job. I heard about the Barstool job. I write about this a lot in the book. I heard about the Barstool job. I was super jealous. I was like, Dave Portnoy is going to find like a white guy in a button-down shirt with a vest who used to work at like Activision and has an MBA, and he's never going to find someone like me, and I'm the right person for this job. And a lot of people didn't see what I saw, which in hindsight was really refreshing and really created a huge opportunity that I don't think people saw coming. And then the second piece was I got fired from every board I was on. I was disowned by my kind of women's community.
Because you worked at Barstool.
Because I went to Barstool, and it made me feel like my back was against the wall, and the only choice I had was to be successful, and the only way I was going to get there was from our own propulsion. And I think a lot of times when you make a career move, you're kind of half in, and I think being all in on something is a really good thing.
Really good question from Brian Farrington. If Dave called, would you ever return to Barstool? And are you surprised that they are finally being welcomed by network TV? Because you talk about that on ESPN too.
100%. I'm so psyched that they're on Fox. I'm so happy. The day it was announced, I texted with Dave. I'm so happy. I don't think Barstool needs me anymore. We built a machine. We built an incredible foundation. If Dave said, come back, I really need you, like, of course I would consider it, but I don't think he does. And I think that's what's so special about what we built.
You're the CEO at Food 52. Talk to me about that decision to go over there and the similarities to your time at Barstool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the same kind of thing when I took the Barstool job. We sold Barstool twice in 2023. We sold it to Penn National for $550 million. We bought it back for Dave for $1. I was like, I've like done everything I'm gonna do here. Like, there's nothing's gonna beat 2023. And I think people thought I would stay in sports, and I think they thought I would stay in sports betting. And I was like, you know what? Like, I've spent a decade now, like, in this thing, living it, loving it, giving myself to it. I would like to talk to a new consumer. I'd like to learn a new type of business. I'd like to explore a new frontier. And moving to the women's space, moving to the home goods, home furnishings industry, moving to commerce was a big jump. And, you know, I think in a lot of ways people are like, what's she doing here? Or why'd she make that decision? It was hard. I learned a lot. I've made 1,000 mistakes in the process. But I think it's a really good, you know, I'm so much smarter than I was when I left Barstool. I'm so much more versatile. I'm so much more experienced. And I think that's what you should be looking for in your career.
When is the right time to leave?
When you're not challenged. When you're bored, when you're mailing it in, when you're dissatisfied. I think it's easy to be to have contempt for where you work. I think a lot of people right now have a lot of malaise. There's a lot of fear. And I think it's a good time to leave when you're like, I'm not scared by anything. I'm not learning anything new. I'm not taking on anything interesting. I show up at work, I complain about work, I have lunch, and then I like do a few things and I complain about work some more. Like, if you're in that vortex, leave, or try to leave.
Yeah. So Food 52, and you know, you're here at Food 52 in a very different time compared to when you were at Barstool Sports. I mean, you pull that from a blog to a $550 million thriving company now, which now has a deal with Fox. And what do you see as the future of media in terms of, and this is something that we're grappling with as legacy media, traditional media, where do you see the future of media going?
Oh, I mean, media is so messy. Like, that's what's amazing about media. You know, you see right now, the media business, people are very worried about search traffic, right? AI is here. You're finding your information from ChatGPT or from AI. You're not discovering things from Google anymore. Like, I had helped launch Demand Media, which was built on Google in like 2009. And so there's a paradigm shift happening. The personalities are really important. Social media is really important. Podcasting is really important. Point of view is really important. And so I think the media business is figuring that out. It's figuring out, hey, I've got to win every page view that I get. I can't just make myself discoverable on Google to get there. There's obviously a lot of mergers and acquisitions happening, and kind of the titans are moving and kind of pairing different assets up. But I think the media business is more challenged than it's ever been. It's more uncertain, but the media business is always challenging and always uncertain, and I think that's what makes it a super exciting place to work.
Do you think we're ever going to get so oversaturated in content that the bubble is going to burst? It feels like everyone's got a podcast, everyone's got a microphone. You can order one from Amazon and have a platform. Is the bubble ever going to burst? Are we just going to get so sick of it?
Well, we're kind of in the bursting bubble now. Like, if you think about it, I think there's something the amount of creators or quote unquote influencers is 10x what it was, and is multiplying. Anyone can be an influencer. Everyone is an influencer. I think what you're seeing, to your question on the future, is it will be about communities, right? It will be about it will be more specific. It will be more offline. It will be more human in the connections you're creating with people. I launched something called Work Like a Girl. I had created Work Like a Girl as a t-shirt idea at Barstool, sold a bunch of t-shirts, kept the IP when I left Barstool, created Work Like a Girl.
That's smart.
Which was smart. I trademarked
IP.
Everything. Keep the IP, trademark your stuff. That's like a good career advice thing. But long story short, now it's a community of professional women. They talk to one another all day. They're there for one another. They're resources for one another. The community is the future of media, and I think that's what's going to break the bubble bursting. I think the flyby traffic of it's all very derivative. I think you have to be original. I think you have to have something to say. I think you have to know who you're talking to, and you have to deliver value to them. I
love to hear you say that community is the future with media, because, you know, in my own world, what I'm hearing from other people, maybe on air, is that AI is going to replace us all, and AI is coming, and this cold, hard robot's going to come and take your jobs. So do you see that happening?
I think the cold, hard robot is going to take some jobs, right? Like if you look in the ad business right now, you have Omnicom merging with IPG. It's like the single biggest merger in recent history. They are going to cut 10,000 jobs out of these two companies. That's a lot of jobs. The back office jobs are going to go to a computer. But the jobs that are creative, the jobs that are about human connection, the jobs that are, you know, convincing a client of an idea or conveying an opportunity to someone, those jobs are not going to go away. And I really think about, you know, we can't be scared of AI. AI is everywhere. It's in your car. It's on your Spotify. It's in your feed. Like, we live in AI right now. But if you're enabled and more efficient because of AI, it's those people who will succeed. And if you really double down on what's human connection, human storytelling, human creativity, AI will never replace those things.
Personalities, you also mentioned, so important. I mean, obviously they were so important at Barstool. I mean, Frank the Tank, you got all of these huge personalities that make Barstool Sports what it is. Are you looking to have the same kind of personalities with Food 52?
Yeah, I think different. You know, certainly we're looking for more expertise and perspective at Food 52 in terms of, you know, what is an awesome way to host a holiday dinner, right? What is the best way to take hotel culture and make your home feel like a very high-end hotel experience? What's the best way to feed yourself? What's the best way to feed the people you love and create home and hearth around you? We've built a lot of great personalities. We're starting to see a real interesting pipeline of more. Barstool was interesting because we just tried to make people laugh all day. And that's really the heart of Barstool, is every day started with a blank page of making people laugh. Way harder in some regards, way easier in others. But the idea of being personality first, being social first is really, really important.
I love to know what uber successful people like yourself do in the morning. I read a little bit about what you do. For an hour, you watch CNBC. You know, I'm reading all this. What's the first thing Erika does in the morning?
Oh my gosh, I am the laziest person ever. I feel like I ask people this question as well, and they're like, I get up and work out for 2 hours. I'm up every day by 5 a.m. and I am sleeping till the last possible minute that I have to get up.
Hitting snooze?
I'm not even a snoozer. I'm just like, I don't even bother setting the alarm. I just am lying to myself about the things I'm not going to do, and then I feel badly about myself. I like love up those Bernese Mountain Dogs. So I'm like all about the Bernese Mountain Dogs. I like to check the news. I like to be current about what's happening. I like to be sure I'm like dressed for the weather, which is like off in New York harder than it seems. The first 3 things I do every day, I like to help other people. So I always try to make sure the first 3 things that I do help someone else. So if I'm like getting on the train and I'm in my phone, I want to help people or check in on people or do 3 things, which is annoying to people because it's early in the morning and they're like, why the heck are you texting me? But
you text,
I try to help.
How are you?
Yeah, like just checking it. You know, I checked in. helped a woman launch a company 2 years ago, and she like popped into my mind today on the train, and I was like, Caroline, like, how are you? What's happening? Like, have you built an empire yet? How can I help you? What are you doing? I'm on the board of the PLL, the Professional Lacrosse League. I texted the founders this morning, and I'm like, like, you're finally getting a break. I just saw this. I just met with this guy. This is what I thought, blah, blah, blah. So I try to give something to other people. And that's important to me in starting a day.
Do you find that you have to detach from your phone or unplug?
No, I'm pretty good about it, actually. I love to work. I love to work. I love to create things. I love to connect with people. I love to make things, but I think it's really unhealthy when you just feel yourself checking your phone and there's nothing there.
Yeah. We're in scroll culture.
Yeah,
you
like
talk about that.
I think it's
scrolling.
super depleting. So I try not to do that.
Okay, amazing.
Ooh,
we're going to take a quick break.
Half-wit?
This I know. Marion Marino. That's
I love
me.
that. That's
love
okay.
It. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then these two half-wits are going to
we're going to come back
right
at
after
it.
the break. Welcome back. I'm here with Erika Ayers Badan. Thanks for joining me again.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, what was your favorite part of the book to write?
I liked writing a book. I think it makes you're sitting a lot. Like that's the one thing, you're like very sedentary.
You're driving?
No,
when you were commuting.
Oh,
you were
on the train.
On the train.
Driving and wriing a book would be bad.
I know,
I'm a bad driver to be
like multitasking.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend just write a book and drive. Gives like a new definition of women drivers. But I like that it sounds like me. I like that it's super personal. I like that it's not preachy. I think people are sick of being preached to about how they should work, where they should work, what they should work. Like, I think people are kind of sick of that. I think that COVID kind of killed management. I think that because everyone went remote, I think managing people is very difficult remote. Really connecting with people is kind of difficult remote. And putting in management is a pain in the butt. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of complaints. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of hard feedback. And I really felt like that was missing, and I still feel like it's really missing in the workplace. And I wanted to be a voice of like, hey, like, I'm going to kind of tell you how I see it and what I've learned and how I would approach things and where I've screwed up. Whereas most business books, when I went down the business book aisle, it was a lot of like, here's, 5 tips to do it this way. Like, if you just learn these habits or if you just do these things, you'll be successful, which I think is kind of bullshit. And then I think the second piece of it was that it was all about executives as like me, look at how great I am, look at my perfect career. And I'm like, I'm not perfect, and I haven't had a perfect career. And I don't think there's 5 habits that make you successful. So it's different and kind of in between.
Yeah, it reads like as if, like you said earlier, like you're writing an email. It kind of
it's like a conversation.
That's how it really reads. And I love when you're like, either you love this book or you hate it or you recommend it or don't recommend. Like it's it's kind of like, take the advice however you can or don't take it.
Yeah, either way. Like I'm good either way. I think that's one thing, kind of back to your question on media changing, is like there was a time for a very long time where media was supposed to be perfect. It was just supposed to be perfect. It was no mistakes. It was only the facade. Like, you never saw the process. You never saw the story. You never saw the mistakes. That's what made Barstool so captivating, is that the story behind the story was actually more interesting than the story itself. And I think looking at a career that way is also really healthy. Like, the process, the learning, the failure, the mistakes, the embarrassment, the success, like all the things in the background are actually way more interesting than how it looks on the surface. And I wanted to give voice to that, and I think that hopefully comes through. And people love or hate things now. Like, we're in a culture where like you love it or you hate it.
Yeah, it's very polarizing.
Super. And like, that's actually fine. Like, if you want to be relevant, you have to accept that you're going to be polar.
Can you be everything to everyone?
No.
So what's the best advice then? Do you just find your lane?
I think you find like who you are and what you have to say. I think a lot of people fake it. Like at work, I think a lot of people are trying to be something for someone else, or you're just trying to mail it in to get the paycheck and get through the day. And very few people have the courage and the stamina and the resilience to like dig it out and get better, you know? And I think you can't fake it anymore. Like your audience knows it, your coworkers know it, your boss knows it. So I think that being in a world of polar reaction, instant reaction, everyone has a reaction, it's actually really clarifying.
Yeah. You talk in your book about try not to cry or throw up in public.
Yes.
Where does that come from?
I think
and you say you're a puker.
I'm a puker. Are you a puker? You're either a puker or you're not.
What are we puking? Like,
are
we drinking?
No, you could be hungover. You could have like a headache.
Like
you
nervous.
Eat something bad. Yep.
I sweat.
Okay, you're a sweater.
I just sweat when I get nervous.
Really?
I'm like a sweater.
Like a drippy sweater?
Like here?
Like a
sweater.
Yep. Okay.
Like a sweater.
I think crying in public so throwing up in public at work is like a biohazard. So like try not to do that. I think crying at work is a sign of like frustration, and I think it's good to also avoid that. Like work has made me cry. I have cried because I hated my manager so much, or something happened that was so upsetting. But I think when you cry at work, you're either looking for attention, you're either frustrated to the point where you can't contain it, you're not able to compartmentalize what's happening, and I think you lose a little bit of power and control. And I think if you can possibly avoid it, don't cry at work.
Do you still get nervous?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I try to prepare as much as I can. I think when you prepare, you're less nervous, but definitely, like I had a huge meeting yesterday, and I was like, I gotta gear up. I gotta have my notebook ready. Is my computer charged? Do I have my script of what I'm going to say and what I'm not going to say? And do I have my 3 things I want to talk about?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it's good to be nervous. I think if you're not nervous, you're not really on the edge of anything.
You don't really care about it.
Yeah.
Right?
If you're not nervous and then it's easy.
Yeah. Well, since you're here, and things can really change, but we're kind of watching legacy media scramble right now with the Warner Brothers deal and the hostile takeover
with
by Paramount and everything, which could really spell trouble for the future of movie theaters. And so what do you think about this deal?
I mean, I don't know. I'm so curious about it. Like, I think Netflix is a juggernaut. Netflix has totally upended Hollywood. It's upended this machine and this legacy way of doing things. Internet companies do that. The middle is going to be eaten. So whether it's Netflix eating it or someone else, I think the Paramount of it all, and I think Warner has a lot of really disparate assets. My question was like, well, what's Netflix going to do with HBO Max? Like, why does Netflix want HBO Max? I still don't know the answer, so maybe somebody here knows this. But I do think it's, in a lot of ways, it's a money game. In a lot of ways, it's a consolidation, and, there's synergies to be gained, and it's just about eking out as many dollars as you can or having as much control as you want. I don't honestly know what will happen. I think it will be very, very curious. I think it's going to be very curious to see what Barry Weiss does at CBS. I'm super interested in that. And I think it will be interested, movie theaters, like people don't like to go to the movie theaters generally. Like if you think about all the movie content you watch because you watch it at home, you may go to the movie for one spectacular experience or because something, I went and saw, it was like 2 summers ago. I saw Barbie in the movie theater. And what was the other one? Oppenheimer. But Oppenheimer was amazing in the theater.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, I wanted to see that in the theater. Like, my daughter wants to see Zootopia 3D in the theater. Like, we will be doing that, you know?
Yeah.
But we're not going to go we're going to watch Home Alone 400 times in the next, 3 weeks. So it's like, we're not going to do that in the theater.
No. It's going to have to become events.
Yes.
Like a Barbenheimer or Zootopia. Yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah, the marketing machine has changed. The experience has changed. I think the theaters themselves are changing. Like, I grew up going to movie theaters and the seats were all ripped and it was like dungy and smelled like stale popcorn. Like, now it's like it's a bar, it's a spa, it's like a whole thing.
It's an experience when you go out there. Yeah, I just watched I think F1, the Formula One movie with Brad Pitt in the theater. It was great. I watched it in the IMAX, the theater here at Union Square, and it was a fantastic experience. But that's the only reason why we're going to the movies these days.
I think there's so many choices right now for entertainment, right? There's like you have your phone, which you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You just can scroll your little heart out, and you can spend 6 hours scrolling. There's so much choice for where attention goes that I think the hurdle it's like going to a retail store. Like the hurdle to get in your car, go to the store, deal with being cold, deal with parking, blah, 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 blah. Like there's lesser resistance way to consume. And that's what everyone is fighting against.
Well, we got to leave the conversation there, Erika. Look, time flies. Thank you so much for joining me. Where can people buy your book?
You can buy the book or listen to the book wherever you find books. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Barnes & Noble. You can get it on Audible. And that's it.
Nobody cares about your career. Erika, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks, everyone, for joining and asking questions. We'll see you next week.